In this series, we are exploring Sanskritam from the perspective of pronunciation of stotras and shlokas. Many of us need clarity in reading and pronouncing Sanskritam. You may know to read devanagari script, but reading unknown shlokas and stotras in Sanskrit can be very challenging. I too started in this category. I have realized that knowing the basics of the alphabets and the logic behind their formation can be a great help in pronouncing Sanskritam correctly. Then there are others who are not even familiar with the Devanagari script and they rely on a regional or foreign language script to read Sanskrit chants. In that case, we might find many times that certain pronunciations can be a huge challenge. For you, I hope I can explain the nuances well and help clarify any points of doubt you may have. You see, when doing mantra japa and mantra sadhana, or even while reciting mantra shakti stotras like Sahasranama, Rudram, etc., correct pronunciations are a prerequisite to the efficacy of the sadhana. So if you are keen to learn the correct pronunciations, try to read out each vyanjanam as we go through them and re-examine if your pronunciation is actually correct or may be improved. In the earlier episodes, we saw that Sanskrita alphabets are called varnaha or aksharaha. They are divided into two groups, vowels and consonants, swaraha and vyanjanani. I have detailed the vowels in episode 1 and the basic birth of a consonant as well as its sounded form in episode 2. I also explained the unvoiced and voiced consonants Aghosha and Saghosha Vyanjanani. I will share the link for that episode as well as the Learn Sanskrit playlist in the description below. In this third episode, we will look at the correct pronunciation of Vyanjanams. Since the content has worked out to be very long, I have decided to make 2 episodes on Vyanjanams. In this episode, we will learn how to pronounce all the Vargiya Vyanjanani. In the next one, we will see the rest. We have seen in episode 1 that every vowel has been analyzed from its place of origin in the mouth and throat. A at the throat, E at the palatal region, and U by pursing the lips. In the case of Vyanjanams, the classification is multifold. The classifications are based on the place of origin, Uchcharasthanam, the position of the tongue which causes the sound, Karanam, the amount of energy or breath used in producing the sound, Prana, the amount of air moving through the mouth while producing the sound, Sprishtam, Ishat Sprishtam and Ishad Vivrita, and the alphabets which fall between consonants and vowels, the semi-vowels, Antasthaha. Please do not get intimidated with this classification. I want you to understand that is in fact this very detailing which makes it much easier to master the correct pronunciation. I will go through each set of consonants slowly and clearly one by one. In the table of consonants, the Vyanjanani, we see that there are 36 consonants listed here. They are classified as you can see into 10 yellow, 10 dark yellow, 5 orange, 8 blue and 3 green. We will be concentrating only on the first 25 Vyanjanams in this episode, marked in yellow, dark yellow and orange, starting from K and ending with M. They are called Sparshah. Sparshah means sounds which are produced when parts of the mouth touch and air does not flow through. They are the stop sounds, pure Vyanjanams, etc. As you pronounce them, the air from the throat is stopped by them. We will go through the pronunciations of all 25. I had explained in episode 2 that the pure Vyanjanam sounds k, g are difficult to say out loud, and for ease of speech, they are combined with the vowel a. Plus a equals k. Therefore, from here onwards, I will speak out the Vyanjanams as k, k, g, and so on. Let us now look at the classification within this set of 25 Vyanjanams. They can be divided into 5 groups. Each group is referred to as a vargah, which means category. Therefore, these 25 Vyanjanams are referred to as Vargeeya Vyanjanani, consonants which are categorized. The vargah categorization is based on Uchchara Sthanam, the region of the mouth from where the sound originates, like k, ch, t, as well as karanam, the position of the tongue when producing the sound. For example, k needs the base of the tongue to touch the back of the throat. K. We see that just like the vowels we saw in episode 1, the consonants are also listed sequentially as sounds emanating starting at the throat, k vargah, and moving forward to the palate, ch vargah, then roof, t vargah, teeth, t vargah, and finally lips, p vargah. The 5 consonants on the first row are referred to as the k vargah, the category of k. Their place of origin, the Uchchara Sthana, is the back of the throat, kantha. When the base of the tongue contacts the back of the throat and the air is stopped, these 5 sounds are produced. K, k, g, g, ng. The 5 consonants on the second row are produced when the tongue is held at the sides in touch with the teeth. Meanwhile, the central part of the tongue touches or comes close to the hard palate, the talu, directing the air towards it. These consonants are therefore called talavya, or the palatal sounds. Ch, ch, j, j, ny. Pronounce them slowly. When you say j, j, it will be very clear that the sound is created at the hard palate. Carefully pronounce these sounds and observe. If the sound does not emanate from the palatal region, then your pronunciation of ny will suffer. This row of Vyanjanams is referred to as the ch varga. The 5 consonants on the third row are produced when the folded tongue touches the roof of the mouth, Mrdu. They are called Murdhanya, the retroflex or cerebral sounds, because the tongue curves upwards to be close to or touch the roof of the mouth. T, t, d, d, n. This row is referred to as the t varga. The 5 consonants on the fourth row are produced when the tongue touches the teeth, so they are called dantavya. T, th, d, d, n. This row is referred to as the t varga, the group of t. The 5 consonants on the fifth row are produced when the 2 lips come together, oshtav, so they are called oshtya or labial sounds. P, p, b, bh, m. This row is referred to as the p varga, the group of p. It is important to know that there is no f sound in Sanskrit, so the second consonant in this varga is p, not f. Let me repeat the 5 rows. K varga, k, k, g, g, ng. Ch varga, ch, ch, j, j, ny. T varga, t, th, d, d, n. T varga, t, th, d, d, n. P vargah, P, P, B, B, M. These are the Vargeeya Vyanjanani. Now let us observe the classification among the columns. In this table we see that the first two columns house the Aghosha Vyanjanani and the next three are Saghosha Vyanjanani. I had clearly explained in my earlier episode that if we pronounce pure Vyanjanams, then we realize that some Vyanjanams can be pronounced even without using the vocal cords or the voice box. These Vyanjanams produced without using the vocal cords are called unvoiced consonants, Aghosha Vyanjanani. They are housed in the first two columns of the table. Just hearing them, we realize that they are hard sounds. So, they are also classified as Karkasha Vyanjanani, hard consonants. And the next three columns of Vyanjanams can only be produced using the vocal cords. These are called voiced consonants, Saghosha Vyanjanani. G, G, Ng, J, J, Ny, D, D, N, D, D, N, B, B, M. Among them, the third and fourth row consonants sound softer than the first and second row ones. Therefore, they are classified as Mrdu Vyanjanani, soft consonants. And lastly, the fifth row of consonants are nasalized sounds. So they are called Anunasika, nasal consonants. Let me summarize the columns up to this point. The first and second columns are called Aghosha Vyanjanani, unvoiced consonants, which are hard consonants as well, called Karkasha Vyanjanani. The third and fourth are Saghosha Vyanjanani, voiced consonants. Being softer sounds, they are also the Mrdu Vyanjanani. And the fifth column are the voiced consonants, which are nasal sounds. They are the Anunasika, nasal consonants. We now come to the third manner of classification of these Vargiya Vyanjanani based on the Prana or the quantity of breath or energy used when pronouncing them. Take the sound K. It originates at the throat. K. This consonant uses minimal air and energy. This is called an Alpa Prana Vyanjanam, consonant using minimal air. Now say the same sound and at the same time expel some air with it. We now hear the sound K. This sound requires us to use extra air and energy. This is called a maha prana vyanjanam, consonant using excess air. When we chant some shlokas, the concept of prana becomes very clear. Let us compare two lines of shlokas. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase. This line flows easily as it is mostly comprised of Alpa Prana sounds. Now let's say Bhuta Krit Bhuta Bhrit Bhavo Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavanaha. We feel completely out of breath because all the Mahaprana sounds expend our breath. Sanskritam is a combination of Alpa and Mahaprana sounds. So just by speaking or chanting in Sanskritam, we can exercise the lungs. Moreover, correct pronunciation of each Vyanjanam also energizes various chakras in the body, ensuring good flow of pranic energy in the energy channels. In the Vyanjanam table, we see that the first and third columns are Alpa Prana Vyanjanams and the second and the fourth column are Mahaprana Vyanjanams. While many Indian languages are based on Sanskritam and have Mahaprana sounds, there are some others which do not have them. For example, my mother tongue is Tamil, and I personally find it challenging to read Sanskrita verses from the Tamil script because there is no Mahaprana concept in our language. A single alphabet, say Ka, has to represent the whole vargah, Ka, Kha, Ga, and Gha. It is a challenge. Nevertheless, I would suggest that you learn the Mahaprana sounds because while chanting, if we mispronounce Mahaprana sounds, we may alter the meaning of words. For example, dik means direction and dik means shameful. So dik palakah means guardian of directions and dik palakah means shame on the protector. So it is definitely worth learning the correct pronunciation, and it just takes a bit of practice. A Mahaprana sound just involves combining a push of air while pronouncing the Alpa Prana Vyanjanam. For example, Ka plus air gives Kha. Ga plus air gives Gha. Cha plus air, Cha. Ja plus air, Ja. Ta plus air, Ta. Da plus air, Da. Ta plus air, Tha. Da plus air, Dha. Pa plus air, P. Ba plus air, B. So, Alpa Prana and Mahaprana come one after the other. Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Cha, Cha, Ja, Ja, Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Pa, Pha, Ba, Bha. Thus, the third classification of Vargeeya Vyanjanams is based on Prana. Now let us move to the last classification in the Vargiya Vyanjanani, the fifth column, colored orange. This column houses the fifth Vyanjanam in each varga. They are called Anunasika because they are formed by diverting air into the nose. They are the nasal sounds. Just close your mouth and hum. The sound from the throat moves into and out of the nose. Depending on the position of your mouth, you could hum or This is the Anunasika sound. Now let us look at the Anunasika for each varga. Try each varga and end it with the nasal flow of the sound. K, K, G, G. Now add an A and you have the correct pronunciation of ng. That is the Anunasika of the K varga. K, K, G, G, ng. When you follow this sequence, you cannot mispronounce the Anunasika ng. Now let us go through each Anunasika. Ch, ch, j, j, ng. T, th, d, dh, n. T, th, d, dh, n. P, ph, b, bh, m. So every time you come across an Anunasika sound and you are in doubt about the pronunciation, go back to the Varga sound and then hum the Anunasika and you can perfect the pronunciation. Let us see Anunasika examples in words. Angam. Here we see that Anunasika belongs to the Ka Varga because it precedes G, which is part of the Ka Varga. So it has to be Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Nga. So the word is pronounced as Angam. Similarly, Pancha. Here Anunasika is followed by a Cha of the Cha Varga. So Cha, Cha, Ja, Ja, Nya. So we pronounce this word as Pancha. For those who read Sanskritam in the English script, both Angam and Pancha may be written with the N alphabet, but you can experience the difference when you use the Varga sound. Angam uses the throat and pancha uses the palate. These two Anunasika sounds are usually used in their pure Vyanjanam form without an addition of a vowel, and they are followed only by another Vyanjanam of the same vargah. So examples of ng are Lanka, Shankha, Angam, Sangha, all of the Ka vargah. An example of Nya are Pancha, Kunja, Cha vargah. The Anunasika sound of Ta vargah can be pronounced similar to Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. Examples: Guna, Pani. When used in pure Vyanjanam form, this too is followed by the same Vargiya Vyanjanam such as Kantha, Pinda. The Anunasika sound of the Ta vargah can be pronounced similar to Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. Nabhi, Neela. When used as a basic consonant, it is followed by the same Vargiya Vyanjanam, Kunti, Bandha. The Anunasika sound of the Pa vargah can be pronounced similar to Pa, Pha, Ba, Bha, Ma. Examples: Mata, Maunam. When used as a basic consonant, it is followed by the same Vargiya Vyanjanams, Kumbha, Amba. Summing the contents of this episode, the first 5 rows of consonants are classified by the point of origin of the sounds Kanthya, Talavya, Murdhanya, Dantavya and Oshtya. Each row is a group or a vargah of 5 named after the first consonant of the row: Ka vargah, Cha vargah, Ta vargah, Ta vargah, Pa vargah. The first and second columns list consonants produced without the help of the vocal cords, Aghosha Vyanjanani. The third, fourth and fifth columns list consonants produced with the help of the vocal cords, Saghosha Vyanjanani. The first and third columns are Alpa Prana Vyanjanani, which use lesser prana, and the second and fourth columns are the Maha Prana Vyanjanani, which use more prana or energy. The last column of consonants are called Anunasika because they are formed by diverting the air into the nose. With this, we have covered the correct pronunciation of Vargiya Vyanjanani based on origin of sound, position of tongue, usage and direction of air. I hope this proves helpful for those who are seeking clarity. I will cover the rest of the Vyanjanams in the next episode. If this episode was helpful, please share with friends, family and others who may benefit from it. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel so that you may be notified when the next episode is released. Thank you for joining me. Hari Om.